All right, well, hi everyone. My name is Jane. As she said, I am a Georgia Tech graduate, majored in chemical engineering, class of 2012. And now that does sound like a long time ago, but it feels good to be back. After I graduated, I started working in the corporate as a process engineer for about 2 years before I came back to help with the Sweet Hut expansion. Sweet Hut, for those of you who don't know, is a bakery and cafe that specializes in Chinese pastries like barbecue pork bun or egg tart and a lot of bubble tea. And when I first came back to Sweet Hut, we have one location right on Beaufort Highway. Now we have 3 locations with 4 more locations pending to launch this year. So one of the most frequent questions I get asked is, why did I leave my Fortune 500 company just to come back to a mom and pop bakery? It's super long hours, it's a lot of physical labor, and in general, food industry really doesn't require a college degree. So why spend 4 years at Georgia Tech just to come back? But in fact, having been at Georgia Tech has actually helped me a lot to manage business. Like communication skills that we learn when we manage a class project. You get a team of people together, you talk about project scope, you assign responsibilities, and you execute the project, and then at the end you come together and you discuss results. Sometimes you even have to deal with a horrible team member that doesn't do any work, but we still get results. I mean, these are all soft skills that I learned in school. And then there's the technical skills, right? Like data analysis, using statistics to evaluate production efficiency, or even just being in school and learning about existing technology that can help streamline a process. I mean, without ever attending Georgia Tech, I wouldn't be able to do my job or problem solve as efficiently as I do now. And without my previous experience as an actual engineer, I wouldn't be able to manage my team as confidently as I do now. Now, of course, not all the skills were transferable that we learned in Georgia Tech. When I first went back to Sweet Hut the first year, there was a period of time where we were very, very short staffed. So I actually had to go into the kitchen every morning, 5 in the morning, and we have to lift these 50 pounds bag of flour in and out of the kitchen. We have to process over 100 kilograms of dough, and we do this for about 10 hours over and over. And after that, we actually I have to go to our second location, and we would actually I would have to train new employees, and we have to brew tea. And somewhere in between all of that, we have to find the time. I have to find the time to sit down, to process payroll, and set the new requirements for the new information system that we're going to have to execute and be in place by the time our 3rd store opened. So it was a lot of hard work, but being in Sweet Hut has been a very exciting experience. There's really nothing more exciting than to grow your own business, grow your own team, and share your culture with people who's never experienced it before. And of course, grow financially. Now, for a lot of you here, I'm assuming once you guys graduate, you're gonna have a corporate job lined up. And usually with corporate, you get things like very good job security, you get really good health insurance, and you probably get matching 401k. And these are all really, really good benefits. But sometimes in a position like that, it's easy to become complacent. Sometimes it's easy to feel stagnant, and sometimes it's easy to just think, you know what, this week I'm just gonna cruise and log my 40 hours this week just so I can get to the end of the month paycheck. And so for me, when the opportunity for Sweet Hut came up and my family called and asked me to come back and help with the expansion, I took the chance. Looking back now, taking this chance has been one of the best decisions I've ever made. But it's also one of the most important aspects of being an entrepreneur. So before our first store opened, we actually knew very, very, very little about the bakery business or the baking process. My family and I, we just loved Chinese baked goods. And but at the time, there wasn't a lot of options in Atlanta. So we started thinking, why not make one for our own? But running a bakery without any prior experience isn't really as easy as it sounds. I remember on our grand opening day, we were actually so behind production that we actually ran out of things to sell by 2 p.m. And keep in mind, we were actually supposed to open until midnight that day. So we actually closed the store the next day, and we kind of sat around and reflect on what is it we're doing right now and what we need to change so that the next day when we open, we can actually stay open and have product supply for the whole day. So we kept trying. Everyone worked 16-hour day, and we tweaked the way we were baking our bread. We changed the way we were brewing our tea. We train our employees a little bit differently so maybe they can be a little bit more efficient too. And eventually we got pretty good. Eventually we got really good at baking our bread. We got really good at brewing our tea. In fact, we got so good that the mayor of Doraville actually awarded us with the model business just a year after operation and proclaimed April 15th as the official Seed Hut Day. Now, I know it's only official in the city of Doraville, but it's still really exciting for us, and taking a chance has its rewards. Now, after the first successful store opened, and we said, well, there's a lot of potential in this business concept, we started looking at a second store. At first, we were looking at more Asian-oriented communities like maybe Beaufort Highway or Duluth. But then we thought to ourselves, maybe we want to share our products with non-Asian communities too. But at the time we were scared. At the time we were thinking, what if non-Asian Americans have never tried bubble tea and never heard of it? What if they think, products like barbecue pork bun or taro pastry or a red bean pastry, those are all too weird of a product to even want to try. What if this great business model we have only works in Asian communities? So, but we told ourselves, we have to take a chance. So we chose Midtown. We chose Midtown as a proof of concept, as a test to see whether or not our product can be accepted in the non-Asian communities, as a test to see if this great new business concept that we have really has a demographical limit. So I mentioned before that taking a chance has a vital role in entrepreneurship, but it doesn't always work out as smoothly as we had hoped. So unlike Doraville, Midtown, when we first opened, the startup curve was not as good as we had expected, and it took months and months of trial and error before we were satisfied with the sales number. And when the sales weren't ideal, my sister and I, we would talk at night and kind of doubtful and wondering, did we make the wrong decision? Should we have just stayed open in the Asian communities that we were so familiar with? But then there's the thing about entrepreneurship. There's really no turning back. So you've got to deal with the hand that you've got. So we started expanding the menu. We created a whole new sandwich section to attract the businesses around Midtown. We created a whole new catering menu, hired a catering manager just to tackle this catering business. And we came up with a lot of different products and put it on the menu, received feedback from the customer, and kind of decided if we want to keep it on the menu or leave it out of the menu. We came up with a lot of catering packages so that we can figure out what type of package can fit the consumer needs the most. It's a lot like taking your first CS class, doing a MATLAB question, and you're doing all these different lines of codes to finally get to the right answer. And only a CS question, maybe take you a few hours at max. Getting the right business model could take months, if not years. So some people could consider us to be fairly lucky. So having been on this sweetheart journey, it's been very, very fulfilling. I mean, we've gone from having 30 people on the team to now we have over 160 people on the team. And we still have some employees that has been with us since very day one, since that grand opening day on our Buford Highway location. And we have a particular employee who actually worked for us as his first job ever. And once he graduated out of Georgia State with a double major, decided he wants to come back and work for us, and now he's responsible for our Texas expansion projects. Hearing Sweet Hut become a household name now for a lot of families. I even hear bubble tea described now as the elixir of life. or having customer come up to me and tell me, hey, I've never tried bubble tea before, but now that I've tried it, it's really changed my life. Or even having some customers posting on social media with kind of our products, and the caption will be, this is what heaven looks like. It's things like this that makes it worth it. It's things like this that makes me feel like we have really made an impact in our small little community. And it makes all the hard work and all the late nights all worth it. Now, of course, I'm not here to discourage you from working for corporate, because corporate is a great place to learn and to grow. But as you guys graduate and hoping to start to the next phase of your life, I do hope that you guys will start taking chances. Take a chance in a small business idea. Take a chance in a tech startup. Take a chance in maybe a small company that will help you grow. But most importantly, take a chance in an idea that will make you light up. Thank you.